Mm. Jeez Louise. Okay, I'm back. Um, I had to realize that there is no particular reason why I do these lives. So I should just go live. I don't know why I always like it. I hesitate so much to come on live. Like, I don't have anything else to do. I just want to talk and I want to share. And yeah. So, um, I'm definitely, you know what I want to do? I really want to block out like the number of people that are in here. Like, I don't want to see because I get a little nervous and I'm just really here to share. But, anyways, today, well, I've been asking Spirit to basically, just guide me into the things that I should discuss. Um, because, like, I don't know. I don't know what it is, but I just been asking to just be guided into having these discussions because I want them to be genuine and like authentic. And I'm not trying to teach nobody anything. I'm just trying to be an example and share my experiences because I truly feel like that's what's going to like help our world become a little better. So today was wash day. I washed my hair and conditioned, but that was about it. Um, so basically, I had someone in my DMs and they were asking me about meditation. And I was just like, that's interesting. But obviously, Spirit would do that. Like I just asked, hey, can you help guide me in figuring out what videos I should make? And then, he used one of my Earth brothers and sisters to help me by asking me a question in my DMs about meditation. And here I am. So basically, meditation is a practice that has been done for like centuries on centuries on centuries, right? And it's literally a technology. It's a way that us human beings are able to connect with all these other worlds that are outside of our own, right? And there's so many different reasons why people meditate. Um, some people do it for religious reasons. Some people do it for focus and concentration. Some people do it to connect with their higher selves, their spirit teams, their spirit guides. Um, like one, a lot of people don't know that you can actually astral travel while meditating, which is really dope, and I do that, you know. So, um, one sec. Here. I wanted some lip gloss. So yeah, um, I'm pretty sure like you've heard of meditation. So hopefully you're kind of here more for the story time part. But generally, that is what meditation is for and how it's used. And um, let me share with you some of my experiences. So basically, there was like a point in my life where I always felt like there was more than what we see. I always felt like there was something always bigger or beyond ourselves. And I also at the time just was struggling with connecting with myself. Like I just felt very much on autopilot. I very much felt like my days consisted of the same thing. And I started to feel like maybe I'm missing out on something. And I also realized like my thoughts would really take most of my attention to where I don't even really remember what magical thing happened in my day. And I just also noticed like my imagination, like ever since I was a kid, I was very imaginative. I had a very vivid imagination. Um, like when I was a kid, I already knew about the different signs and synchronicities that happens in our everyday world that spirit that God puts into our lives to just remind us of like who we are and that we are safe and that you know his presence is there. So once I started to feel this disconnect, I, like many of us, started to look for solutions. And I'm a Google person. I'm the type of person that's going to type in any question I have. Okay, I don't care. I'm gonna ask Google, right? And so I'm just like, what to do when you feel disconnected from self. So let me actually Google that right now. What to do when feeling disconnected from self. So one of the first things I see is let yourself feel, breathe, and meditate. Like those, like meditation was basically the first thing that I saw for this, like for a solution. So whenever I started meditating, I honestly try to do it by myself. Like, I'm one of those people where I'm very weary about things and people and intentions. So I wasn't open to having, like, all the guided meditations that are on YouTube. I wasn't open to listening to them because the way that I got into spirituality or intentional living is through conspiracy theories. So I'm pretty sure most of us that's kind of like the route that it went in. But I understand the power of sound and music and words, like spelling words or spells. So I just wasn't as open to doing guided meditations. So what I would do is I would just sit in my car after but this was the thing, and this is why I really want you guys to like listen to this because I feel like for a lot of us, whenever we hear about meditation, we hear about this zen, quiet, happy feeling, and honestly, it's just like it don't work like that. Like a lot of times when you come into your meditation, you have to allow your body and your mind to align. And just by coming into that space, that is already meditation. Um, so let me explain a little more with an example. So when I first started doing meditation, like it was just kind of, it reminded me of when I was a kid. And as a kid, like my mom would always have us on a schedule to like take naps. But during that time when we were supposed to be taking naps, I would literally force myself to stay up. Like I would not want to take a nap. And that's the time when I started to just imagine, right? So I would be playing with my teddy bears or I would just sit quietly and just observe or I would look outside and just stare at the grass and the sky and things like that. So those are all forms of meditation. So at the beginning of my journey, um, like I would set, I feel like when you first start, you should set the time that you have to meditate, um, like a little longer, because you have to get into the groove of things, right? A lot of people say, oh, start with 5 or 10 minutes. But in my experience, that wouldn't be enough time for my mind to even settle down enough to feel any effects. So I would say at the beginning of your meditation to set a longer time for you to experience what meditation is. So that could be up to 30 minutes. But you're not, I'm telling you that when you first start, you're not going to be meditating for 30 minutes. What it looked like for me when I first started was I would set like 30 minutes to the side, and all of a sudden I would just be distracted, right? So I would have like my phone and I'm still on my phone, or I would have these thoughts about the day, like all want to come and chit chat about how I feel or all these thoughts, right? And I would get so frustrated with myself. And it took me a couple of YouTube videos and tries to understand that, like, that is a part of your meditation. So, allowing your mind to settle down, allowing your thoughts to come to the forefront of your mind and just be acknowledged, that is what meditation is. So, um, as I can, like, so a lot of times what would happen would be like I'll set the 30 minutes aside and then somehow I get distracted on my phone. So that just took away time. And then I would just sit and like directly close my eyes. And as I would close my eyes or whatever, like all these thoughts would come. And what you want to do when you're meditating is you want to allow the thoughts to come and then allow them to just ease away. So at the beginning of my meditation journey, what I would do was a thought would come and then I'm just pondering it and I'm trying to like find solutions, or I'm having this dialogue in my head, right? And honestly, my mind would get so exhausted by doing that with each thought that, like, over time, as I continued to practice, those thoughts would start to slow down more. Those thoughts would just come. And when I had those thoughts, so say, for example, someone irritated me that day, right? So that scenario of them irritating me keeps playing over. I don't try to shut it off and be like, no, 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 don't think about it. I'm meditating. And I also don't take the time to be like, yeah, like that was really irritating. What I allow my mind to do is play it, let it do what it does. If it wants to think about whatever, I let the thoughts go. I just let the thought be. And once the thought has completely expressed itself, I let it go. And once that happens, right, then your brain is kind of just like, all right, that's all I had to say. What is it that you want to do? And in that part, once your brain is just, it's done talking, it's done having those thoughts, then that's when you can start progressing into more deeper meditations where you can experience more. Or because, like I said, everyone has a different reason for meditating. So whatever benefits that you're looking for from your meditation will start to happen as you continue to practice. But just know that those thoughts are definitely going to come in there, and meditation is there to allow those thoughts to be seen and then allow them to fade away. And as you practice, it will be faster. The process of your mind having these thoughts and moving on will be faster. Um, so as I continued, um, I would just do silent ones, just sitting in silence with my eyes closed and just waiting for my thoughts to cease. And then it gets to this void point, right? And this is the part where you get to create, where you get to set your intention. So if you're there to calm down, if you're there to get more energy, that void space that you experience in your meditation is where you'll set that intention. And from there, however much time you have, you can just experience the ease of your mind, the silence. And the best part about meditation is that it honestly doesn't matter the time that you spend in meditation because just the act alone is powerful. It really does change the way that your mind and your thoughts communicate with you. And it makes you become more aware because what would happen in my meditations is these thoughts that used to run through my mind and keep me like unfocused. Is that even a word? Is unfocused a word? But um, basically, what I'm saying is those thoughts that usually keep us off track, I would realize in my meditation, like, oh, wow, that's really silly. Or, wow, like, that really upset you. And a lot of times, that's literally all we need as people in this world is just acknowledgement or just to be seen. Not everything necessarily needs a solution. Not everything can be solved. Not everything can be fixed. But sometimes just allowing the space to have these thoughts be seen can help. And when you start to see, like, okay, now that I gave myself, sorry, now that I gave myself space, now that I gave myself space to ease my mind, right? I start to see what my real thoughts are and like the things that I really need to work on. So like in meditation, that's where that awareness comes in whenever you practice meditation because you'll start to see that like oh man, I'm having this thought very often. I need to take more time to address it. And you can use meditation to do that. Like I said, you're able to, in this void space, set your intention. So if that is to find a solution for this problem, boom, you can do that. Because now you have a clear mind and a clear focus point. And this is in meditation where a lot of people will connect with their spirit guides, their higher selves, to get these clarifications or confirmations, right? Um, so let me share a meditation story time. I think I'm gonna share two, um, just to like, you know, let you know like some things that I've experienced. So basically, this one time, my boyfriend was at work. I was very young and I didn't have nothing else to do in my time. So, a lot of times I would just wait for him to get off. At the time, I had a car. We lived down the street from each other, and he was going to get off in like maybe an hour or so. So, me being the obsessive girlfriend that I am, I just waited. So, as I'm sitting in the car, it was like a really, really nice day. And I was like, you know what? This will be a perfect time to meditate. And this really jump started my whole like journey of meditation. And I would literally challenge myself to like meditate in the most awkwardest spots ever. Like I would literally just sit in the middle. At the time, it was very awkward for me, but now, like, it's just a regular thing I do in life. But at the time, like, this situation helped me to start meditating in busy parks or on the bus because I used to like to ride the bus around town. I don't really like to drive, so I'm a public transportation kind of girl, saves the planet. I get to chill and be chauffeured where I want to be. So, anyways, back to the topic at hand. So, I'm in the car and I'm just like, oh, remember when we learned about meditation? Like, let's try. So, I remember I had a Volkswagen at the time. It was white with cream inside. And I don't know why, but the sun would just hit it so perfectly. Oh my gosh. Like, I miss that car so much. I did not want to get rid of my car. Anyways, so I'm sitting in the car. The sun is keeping me warm, and I start to meditate. And as I meditate, those thoughts start looping around and everything. And this wasn't my first time meditating, but I was still learning, I was still practicing. So this was the first time that I got to the point of I have no more thoughts to think about. I got to the point where I had no more thoughts to think about. And so my mind just started to really analyze my surroundings, and I started to hear. And this is crazy because where my boyfriend worked at the time was off of the freeway. Like, yeah, it was right off the freeway. So there's constant cars going. So at first I would hear, like, the cars passing on the freeway. And then I started to hear like the keys jingling in someone's pocket. And then I would hear a softer wind that wasn't from the freeway, but like from the trees that were nearby. And then I heard a bird. And it was like, wow, like I'm really able to just be and to just analyze my surroundings with other senses than my eyes. And I remember like being so enamored with the experience that I ended up falling asleep. And once I fell asleep, um, that's when I started to experience astral travel because it was like my body is like, it was like my mind was very much aware, but I was asleep at the same time. So it put me into this astral travel state. But as far as the meditation went, it was like, so it was very interesting. And after I experienced that, I was like, I want to do this more often. Like, I want to meditate more. And that I did. So, yeah, I really enjoyed that experience. And once I got to that point, that's when again I started to go to the park, and I would just be so obsessed with like hearing the sounds of the leaves and the birds and the wind. Like I really enjoy meditation for those purposes, for those reasons, because there's like so many layers of sound within our realm. There's so many languages that happen around us. And like when you're just still and when you're setting the intention to just be present and receptive, it's very, very beautiful. It's a very beautiful experience. So a second time that another meditation experience would be when I started wanting to create content. So I wanted to start creating content, and like this is something that I really do need to get back to. But I have a couple of videos on my Instagram, if you guys want to follow me at Soul is Rising on Instagram. Oh, yes. Ooh, my foot is falling asleep. Ooh. But what happened? Um, my dog is doing something. My boyfriend's getting him in order. So oh, the second one. So once I started creating content, I mean, whenever I tried to do it, like right now, I'm tapping into just going live and talking and sharing and posting, rather than trying to edit because it just seemed very unauthentic to me, and I just don't have the. I take a lot of pictures and videos. I don't have the space on my things. Like no. And I'm not. I don't really want to edit. Like I would like to make certain posts, you know, and stuff like that. But editing, no. So here I am. But at that time, I really wanted to have uniform videos. So what I would do is I would meditate. So I would have like I still do. I have like this. Um, oh wow, I was learning about the true life the other day, but I created this list, and basically what I would do was like here you can see I numbered them 1, 2, and 3, and I would just meditate and see like what topic really sat with me, and then once I would kind of pick the topic, I would just sit in meditation and just think about me doing the video. It's kind of crazy because meditation is really a great way to manifest. It's a really great way to set time to visualize things. Um, so sometimes I would meditate and just visualize myself doing the video. There was experiences where I would meditate and I would just visualize like um, people commenting, or I would visualize like, or no, I wouldn't visualize, but in this example, I would go into the void space and ask for my spirit guides to come and talk with me and like help me to know what to say and what's important, and like what will really help people who are willing to listen. So I definitely want to bring that back with meditating. I have so many pre-recorded videos where I do that. So I'll be bringing that to my lives and stuff like that. Um, and then let's talk about like a crazy, like a not a crazy, but like a really interesting meditation session. And like that's something else that I want to talk about. There are levels to meditation. There's levels to this ish, right? So you get to have the discernment on where you want to go. You get to have discernment on how you want to use meditation. So, do your thing. I'm just sharing different examples. So I think the first one is pretty much beginner. I got to work through my thoughts, enter the voice space, and got to feel the feeling that everyone talks about when they're meditating, that awareness and just being. The second is when I actually use meditation to receive information and clarity. So the third one I would like to share with you is probably like just a really cool experience. So a lot of times within your meditation journey, you can start to meditate in different areas. So a lot of times people start in their room. Sometimes people start in their bed or in their room or in the work study, right? Um, and then people will advance it to like doing meditations in the shower or really grand, like group meditations, things like that. So I started to do bath meditations. I was a little scared, to be honest, because I'm like, what if I get so relaxed and then I'm like sliding down and, I don't know. I never thought that I had a fear of drowning, but I low key do because growing up, I lived on the East Coast. I lived in Virginia where it was like mandatory for us to learn how to swim because I lived right off the bay. So, um, yeah, I had to for real learn how to swim, and I was very much exposed to the dangers of not knowing how to swim. But that was my only concern when it came to the bath meditation. Um, and basically, I really do personally enjoy doing my meditations in the water. I am a Cancer rising. I am a Aries sun. Um, and although water and fire don't necessarily like each other, water helps to calm me. And a lot of times, that fiery essence within me is just like a blazing that a little water would just bring me down, right? So um, I really do enjoy doing my meditations in the bath. And whenever I do my meditations in the bath, I have really beautiful experiences because I take that time to connect with my ancestors and spirit team. And there was a time where, like, see, this is like advanced meditation because I use herbs, I use different elements, I called down my ancestors. There was a lot going on, but the basis of it all was meditation. So in this bath, um, I do like a spiritual bath and I go into my meditation. And this is actually where I did a guided meditation because I wanted to meet my ancestors. There is one on YouTube. Let me find oh, Sacred Mysteries Worldwide. It's called Guided Ancestor Meditation Build a Stronger Connection. Sacred Mysteries Worldwide. So I was listening to that in the tub and it was kind of challenging. I'm not going to lie to you. Like, it was kind of challenging. The reason I say it was kind of challenging is because she has you do this exercise where you have to visualize the number in your mind's eye and then you have to let it fade away. But it's a really awesome technique to get your brain to tire out. Remember those thoughts I was telling you about? That's a really great technique to get your mind to tire out and just rest. Because sometimes our minds, they just want to keep working. So if you give your mind a freaking task that's exhausting, like visualizing um, a, a big goal, like she would count down, so you would have to visualize a big goal number 9, a big goal number 8. And each one, you would have to make it fade away in your mind's eye. Go check out that meditation because it was very challenging. I did have to do it a couple of times before I had a successful like meditation and connecting with my ancestors, but it really did help advance my meditation to like the next level. I almost feel as though my mind listens more. Like if I say to do something, it will do it because I've set out a practice such as meditation to bring those results about. So as I'm going through the guided meditation, right? Um, she freaking oh, I get to the part where like there's like a meadow, right? And I was just so amazed at how vivid this place looked and how my mind really created this or remembered this, whatever the process is. Like, I knew that I wasn't physically there, but the detail and the way that it looked, I was just so amazed at what our minds can actually create within meditation. So, um, yeah, I think I have shared enough. That's like 35 minutes of your time. I want to thank you so much for being here, listening. I hope that you learned something. Again, there's so many freaking meditation videos on YouTube, on social media that I don't want to share that information. I would much rather share my experience and my journey. But yeah, that's all I got for you. So again, thank you so much for being here. I want to say that I love you so, 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 so much. If you are vibing with me, go ahead and subscribe. If you are vibing with me, go ahead and like. If you are vibing with me, go ahead and comment. Comment, subscribe. um, I have to do that. But in honesty, thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for listening to me. I love you so much, Earth brother and sister. And I hope that you have a beautiful day. Peace. Ooh, and I need to learn how to look in the camera. My bad. My bad. My bad.